Another chance for the LAPD to completely discredit themselves. And for Scientology to just stay in character, which we can count on, using all the same old strategies, weaponizing the police, and basically being a drain on the resources of Los Angeles. So here we go, even on a rainy day, we do have... They have the best Kool-Aid, don't they? That's one thing about cults. They do serve the best Kool-Aid, although you only get one chance to taste it, and that's it.
Can you say fuck Scientology, go bananas, and fuck Scientology? Oh, let's just make Christine. Yeah, no Christine. Fuck Scientology, guys.
So, who online is going to explain to me how a guy who sicks his dogs on many people over time and makes it a pastime of his. Okay, this is a guy who attacked or had his dog attack 4 people, including William Streets, LA, and the cops declined to arrest him. And so yesterday, right around here, right where we are right now, he attacks again. And when he attacks again, the cops don't want to arrest him this time. So it takes a lot of prodding to actually make the police do their job and arrest a guy who attacked somebody with no provocation. The only thing you could call a provocation was that Aaron asked him, "Hey, are you the guy that attacked people with your pit bull?" And when the guy said, when the guy resisted answering any questions, and Aaron said, "I'm on a public sidewalk," or whatever, then he hit him in the head with the metal tip of a cane. He let go of the leash of his pit bull. I'm not sure whether the pit bull actually bit him or not. I didn't hear anything about that, so I'll assume the dog didn't bite him. Sorry, noise. And then what the police told Aaron was, well, if we're going to arrest this guy, then we're going to have to arrest you too on felony harassment. Now, felony harassment would require a pattern of multiple occasions. Very clear that there was no pattern. Now, why am I coming to this big intersection? I'll get out of the noise here for a second. So right here we have the epicenter of Hollywood. We have Hollywood and Highland. So down there to the left, or straight ahead that way, you have the Chinese Theater. You have Hollywood Boulevard and Highland. The police shut this intersection down in order to arrest Aaron, inconveniencing
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't come and say hi to me? That's a bummer. Well, I don't have the hat on today, which would be a good day for it since it is kind of drizzling. And by drizzling, I mean in LA speak, pouring down rain. So anyway, not only did the police wait a couple of hours before making the arrest, they resisted making the arrest, and then they said, well, if we're going to arrest him, we're going to arrest you. So Aaron had to make the deal, okay, I guess in order to get this guy arrested, I have to be arrested. So he went along with that. They had 2 helicopters above here, not news helicopters, police helicopters. And then they shut down the whole intersection, inconveniencing untold thousands of drivers, wasting who knows how many gallons of gas, and polluting the environment that much more, to arrest a guy who was just standing there doing nothing. But they're so freaked out about the protesters, who have shown no inclination to violence or anything. On the other hand, totally opposite to that, anytime anybody comes being crazy, we shut them down. We get them out of here. We know the deal. We know that people will come and try to hijack a protest and discredit everybody. Hey, Northern Ireland. Yeah, your friends are here to break you out. I think that cops are almost as paranoid as Scientology. So that's kind of funny. So, the thing is, as I have said before, I believe well-earned paranoia. No, I don't think it's that well-earned. Nobody needs to be paranoid. But I think that we are in an age that the internet, among other things, has started a pattern of the unwinding of certain forms of tyranny and groupthink. And that just by pointing a camera, yeah, that's true. Bad cops should be paranoid about being viewed. Yeah, absolutely. And because that's the thing. It's the exposure of what actually is happening that is the disinfectant. When you expose what people are doing, that's why Scientologists run when you come with a camera, a phone. Well, if you're scared to comment on anything, I mean, you can always get another. Just rename your channel so that it's not your name, and come on back and comment. Hey, Scotland.
What about the bomb?
I'll tell you one thing about. There's only been a couple of people who came from English-speaking countries who I just could not understand. One guy from Trinidad and another guy from Scotland. And they both kind of gave me attitude when I didn't understand them. I mean, it's not like I didn't understand anything, but it was just like every other sentence. I'm like, what, huh, what was that word? And then you start losing a little hearing, and that shit escalates, man. But I think for a lot of people, yes, disagreement is okay here. Glaswegian, yeah, I believe it. And I think I'm 25% Scottish or something like that. My Scottish ancestors, from what I hear, they sailed from Scotland under South America, all the way up the west coast to Oregon. It was either that or the Panama Canal, so they chose the under South America route. And that does not sound like a fun cruise. Curious why so many people are Scientologists? So many people are not Scientologists. There are more people that, let's see, what would be a good reference point? There are more people in the world right now sticking two fingers up, you know what, than there are Scientologists. By far, by far. So, no, there are not that many Scientologists. There are absolutely very few Scientologists, and a huge percentage of the ones who remain are in name only, as they call it. Nice to meet you. Yes, they are definitely the smell my finger, and not even the pull my finger, but the smell my finger crew.
Join the call! Join the call! Free Kool-Aid! Free Kool-Aid! Join the call! Great Kool-Aid!
This is winter wear in Los Angeles on a rainy day. This is how the average Angelino dresses.
Give up all your friends
Yes.
and family. It's totally normal. You can't watch the internet either. No internet. You cannot see the internet. Save the children. Save the children.
You just go on your YouTube thing, and where it has your username for YouTube, you just change it. It's easy. It's like you could do it like twice a month or something like that. Oh, is he? Well, I don't know what he is. I've seen things in comments elsewhere that criticizing whatever he's doing, so I really don't know about it. Yeah, switch account, right. Yeah, I mean,
Get your Kool-Aid.
he's a plant. Well, whatever. I mean, if he's making fun of Kool-Aid and cults, I can go along with that message to some degree. So, whatever. I'm not going to get paranoid about plants, you know. I'd rather just they sent Scientologists out to talk to us.
Free Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean,
It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be gay.
I think
It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be gay.
Yeah, I saw all the camera things on the other side.
It's 2024. It's
you could
okay
do
to
it,
be
Melissa,
gay.
for sure.
It's okay to be gay.
I don't know. I really don't necessarily see how cool in Florida. Nice. Well, the problem with the Kool-Aid is you only get one taste, and then you don't even have time to tell anybody else what it tasted like. So, you know, that's an issue. But otherwise, you know, if you just have to have it, I'm sure it's the best. And like I've told many gatherings of Scientologists, if Davey Mismanige throws a Kool-Aid party, maybe you don't want to go.
Free Kool-Aid.
What? Happening married?
How many of you guys have seen the Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura Kool-Aid scene? That is one of the most Funny. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet. Now here we have a situation where everybody's running in one direction and I'm not. Oh yeah, well, don't leave me to go look at it. But yeah, Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer and Kool-Aid. Yeah, Jim Jones. Are the doors open? Let's check. I somehow doubt it. They are not open. No, they are not.
Oh, it was a girl. She was gonna go in there, but she saw us down here, so she decided to go to the side. It's so
And y'all tried to go in bears?
yeah, but YouTube and TikTok. YouTube and TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
1 million. I'm pretty much a skateboard guy.
It's a call, ladies. It's a call.
Somebody said don't get felony stalking. Yeah, but it's funny. It's funny. It said don't get felony stalking. Yeah, right. Nah. But I saw that, bro. She was thinking about
Uh-oh. We have people with badges coming. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Do we have authority figures coming, or are they unrelated? It almost looks like the Mormon badges.
Just give up your friends and family. Give up your friends and family. No internet. It's totally normal. Even Charles Manson said that it was kind of weird. Think about that. Charles Manson thought that the Church of Scientology was weird. What happened to Shirley? David's wife. She just disappeared over a decade.
Yeah, you know, the thing about worrying about somebody being a Scientologist, Mormons, I know, it looked like those Mormon badges of like some little kid that looks like he's 12 and it says Elder Jones or whatever. Yeah, this is the sad thing about them shutting down, is that we all miss our favorite characters like Lurch. I mean, Lurch is really an amazing guy, a Hungarian. If you're not a Scientologist, don't marry one. Yeah, if you are a Scientologist, don't marry one either. My day is going very well. It is awesome. It is a beautiful day to be curious, to be extremely curious. And so anyway, last night, beyond shutting Hollywood down for a ridiculous amount of time, snarling traffic and all of that, then the LAPD takes them away. They get all paranoid at the police station, like somebody's going to, like we're going to bust him out. Yeah, right. You married one? Okay, well, hope you got him out. It's not good for your finances to be married to a Scientologist. That's when you definitely need separate bank accounts, separate everything, believe me, because they will jack up your credit cards. And you'd marry Juliette Lewis? Yeah. Well, I've seen her talking to somebody and being really defensive about Scientology, and that was quite the turnoff. When they get really, you know, militant in their pro-Scientology stuff. So, yeah, Scientology is a way of life for some. Heroin is a way of life for some. A lot of things are a way of life for some. And some of them are healthier than others, better than others. You know, there is a certain ranking. The thing is with these Scientologists, if they were gonna do any major thing, I mean, one thing they do is they find crazy people to send out to do crazy things that they can disavow that they have anything to do with it, and then gaslight, which is a really major tradition in Scientology, the gaslighting tradition. Look, Scientology is like an abusive relationship, okay? So let's review. They get you when you're vulnerable. They get you by finding your ruin, what they call your ruin, your most vulnerable thing, your most vulnerable issue. Then they love bomb you. They make you feel like they have the solution. And then they give you a little taste of something that works a little bit, because there are things in Scientology that are a little bit helpful, especially from the very beginning. The very beginning, cheapest parts of Scientology are actually the most effective. One of the main things is just having you tell the traumatic story over and over and over until it loses its charge. And so yeah, they prey on the weak. And then when they've gotten you in with the gaslighting and some kind of fake wins, then the bullshit starts even more. And then, yeah, that's a good, they're rather nasty, yes. And it's not an individual thing. It's a group think kind of deal. Most Scientologists, when they leave, they do very well. You know, they're even, if you look, I'd say one of the most positive things when you see Scientologists who have left, Scientologists who didn't get any education, who were in the Sea Org from childhood or adolescence, one thing that I could say, they have a vocabulary, because their fetish for looking things up in the dictionary, word clearing, means that they know a lot of words, and they can actually define them way better than me. I'm not too good. You ask me, yeah, when they tell you to yell at an ashtray, or if you see the Reckless Ben thing when they go to a Scientology church service, and they're like, you know, have a hand, or whatever, have a leg, and you sit there having a leg, and then like, good. And then the final one was B. Yeah, book smart, definitely not street smart for sure. Because if you're street smart, you know when you're being conned. You can see through a scam. You can't be street smart and join Scientology unless they get you at a super low point in your life. At a point of desperation where you're just grabbing for anything you could possibly grab onto, and you happen to walk by Scientology and they give you a flyer and they say, oh, come on in, we're doing free personality tests. Don't worry, nothing's going to cost you anything and all that bullshit. And then you get in there and they give you the hard sell. And by the time you walk out, you've given them $200-300 and signed up for some course. Yeah, well, they're trained to smell for the desperation and to find people's ruin. It's their whole technique is find your ruin. And it's a normal sales technique, but when you take it to this level of a cult and you take it to the level of people's core issues, like I've done sales before. I mean, you need to find the person's need. What do they need? And well, you're lucky if you never got that low, but a lot of people have gotten desperate. Xenu skeptic. No, homeless people cannot join. I mean, they can technically if they have money. if they have money that they happen to not spend on a home, they could join Scientology. They probably wouldn't be let in if they were dirty and smelly and whatever, but anybody with money can join Scientology, you know, unless they just really raise hell when they get in the building or something. And so anyway, sorry, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm sure whatever they screen for, they're screening for people that are going to be more of a negative than a positive for them. That's what they're screening for, and that's about all they're screening for. People who will ask questions. Like, I had a client who was in Scientology and was loving it and actually wanted to be an auditor. And my client then was reassigned auditors and got some young girl that, whatever, had no life experience. And my client went and complained and said, no, I want a more seasoned auditor. And they kicked my client out of Scientology. I don't know if there was an SP declare involved, but this person was kicked out. So, yeah, anybody who could give me a like and especially a subscribe.
You have a TikTok?
No, I don't. Well, I do, but I never use it. What's that? YouTube?
They want to know your...
Davey Mismanige with an IGE.
There you go.
Davey
you guys heard
Mismanige. So, and that was probably the spies wanting to know who I am.
Sorry.
Right.
They just wanted to know who it was.
No, I'm just joking about it. That it was like OSA spies, you know. They already know everything anyway, not worried about that. If you're going to do this, if you're going to come out here and do this, no, you don't want to employ a Scientologist, because if you do, they're going, or a flat earther. I might employ a flat earther just to hear the story, you know, just to goof on it, you know. It's such... Flat Earth is such a funny thing to hang your hat on, you know, and anyway, where were we? I don't know. Everything distracts me. Try not to laugh challenge. Well, I'll tell you who I would hire. I would hire a former Sea Org member for a sales position. I would really have to know, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit about my clout. I just passed 1,000 subscribers this morning. Yeehaw. So let's make it 2 by the end of today. You guys can make it happen. Thank you. So it's not that I have that much clout. There's a lot of people. I mean, Aaron has what, like 300,000 subscribers or pushing that. Probably more after yesterday. Yeah, the girl in the hoodie has impeccable taste, obviously. So anyway, one of the funniest, yeah, last night was definitely 3,000 new after yesterday. I'm surprised it's not more than that. Thank you, Unapologetic. I have been watching this stuff for like 15 years at least, probably more. I don't know when I mean, back in the days, I was thinking like that Message to Scientology video that Anonymous did. I think Travolta still is in. I mean, I think we would have heard about it if he wasn't. Even after the lack of medical care killed his son, supposedly, yeah, I'll be able to monetize once I get about 1,000 more hours of views. But I've only been doing this for about 3 weeks on YouTube. And, you know, it's just my little side hobby thing. And, but I have been watching this kind of stuff for 15, maybe 20 years. I don't know. How long has it even been going on? And yeah, I'm just reading stuff. Yeah, whoever's undercover, whatever, anything. I mean, the whole thing is we're out here not breaking the law, just commenting, building our little news empires. And, you know, once Scientology goes down, then there'll be other things. Am I single? Who knows? Everybody's single when the right offer comes around. No. The dog is contained by an invisible fence. Looks pretty visible to me. You can tell there's a lot of action here. That's their parking lot. Maybe who's undercover? Yeah, I'm sure she did say that. More like built like a pregnant mare, more than a stallion. It's an invisible dog, very scary. But, you know, you have to do certain things to save the world. Yeah, if you listen about the LA cops being dirty, if you listen, look, my thing isn't going around and, you know, I'm not like Streets. I'm not here about the cops. You know, we all have our opinions about the cops, but, you know, we need cops. I'm not anti-cop in general. And, but it really pisses me off when cops get this power thing going. And, you know, again, I look at it as that the world is kind of waking up to these power structures. I mean, we had the Catholic Church being exposed more and more and more, to the point where anybody talks about priests and, you know, immediately the word association is something that rhymes with Chester. And so, you know, it's like this organization that for 2,000 years terrorized Western civilization as it was creating it, then, you know, shining the light about the abuses in the Catholic Church which everybody kind of talked about for years, made jokes about it. I mean, it was known, but then when it finally came out, more and more and more, membership really dropped in the Catholic Church. And no, I was never a Scientologist. I am a very nice guy, definitely. Or somebody else is a nice guy and you're talking to them and I'm missing part of the conversation. Either way. So what I think is that power structures are coming down. And I didn't block anybody. Not that I know of. But the last few streams I did hit some buttons, and like my first live stream, I think I erased all the chats and, you know, did some dumbass stuff. But anyway, I have not assisted people leaving Scientology, but my thing, if you look at my video on my channel talking about the similarity with East Germany, you know, I've been involved in these kind of things since I was a college student and went to East Berlin a lot, and I hung out with anti-government dissidents in East Germany, you know, while the wall was still up, obviously. And I just love the idea of planting certain thoughts in their head, you know, and saying certain things, and you know, kind of pushing the energy in that way. And when I would meet East Germans that would talk about, you know, that would give me the party line about, like they used to call the Berlin Wall in East Germany, the anti-fascist defense wall, you know, and they claim we're keeping fascists out of here with that wall, not we're shooting our own people when they try to leave. I probably ran into the Stasi, yeah, but I wouldn't know that I ran into the Stasi because they don't say, hey, we're the Stasi. One time I got interrogated and held in an East German border thing. No, I'm not CIA. So, you know, I was held for like an hour or so by the East German border police because I would go in so often. And one time it was really fun. I went into East Berlin 1 minute after midnight because they had a visa where you could stay all day, but you had to leave at midnight. And so I went like 1 minute after midnight so I could stay overnight and the next day. And I brought in a bottle of tequila and a bunch of limes, and when they looked it through my bag, they were like, the East Berlin stuff is because I'm making a comparison between the mindset of totalitarian regimes and organizations like Scientology. There's a mindset, and they are afraid of information. They are afraid of anything that messes with their narrative. And so when you go in there and insert some code into their matrix, I have been an academic. Yeah, I have a master's degree in political science, so, you know, I can nerd out on this Scientology stuff and some political science stuff. And these are some of my nerdish obsessions. And that's the whole thing, that with Scientologists, you could just say a couple of magic words and they go scurrying away Yeah, Davey and his fake Navy. And what else did I say? No, I'm not CIA adjacent. I think the KGB tried to recruit me once, though, because I went to a talk, and then I was talking to this Soviet diplomat, and he gave me his card, and he's like, come by my office and let's chat. You're an interesting guy, you know. And I never did anything with it. But I thought later, wouldn't it have been funny if I would have gone to, I speak Swedish, French, and German, and little tidbits of some other ones. Cool, Daniel. Thanks for coming. Please subscribe if you find any value here at all. But I'll tell you, I wish I spoke Spanish. Hey, Brazil, what's up? And snowy Tennessee. Tennessee's awesome. Have you been to the Appalachian Museum in Tennessee? That place was really a cool place. They had Mark Twain's parents' original cabin from before Mark Twain was born. That was cool. Same voice as scientific skeptic. Okay. Well, I'm not that scientific and I'm not a skeptic, so... You have not been to that museum? It's really cool. Hey Mats, var i Sverige är du? Jag måste veta, igår var det någon från Malmö. Does that sound like Mark Bunker? Had to say hi to the Swede. Let's see. Norrköping. Okay, cool. I lived in Gävle for 2.5 years. That's why I speak it. I was there last night. And, it got to the point where my battery was dying and there were enough cameras on the situation. A Bay Area. I thought that museum was Middle Tennessee. Okay, maybe it is east. It's not that far east, though. I thought it was straight up the middle by the Kentucky border, but whatever. Go see it. It's your heritage. You got to check that place out. It's a great museum. So let's say Central Florida. You had an uncle in Gävle. It's funny, when I went to Gävle again, I hadn't been in Sweden for 30 years. And I went there 7 years ago, and then everybody said, did you know this is the least friendly place in Sweden? I'm like, oh, yeah, great. That's where I picked to live. Awesome. So you tell me it's friendlier somewhere else? That's good news. Maybe in Norrköping it's much friendlier. But anyway, to me, it's like, I see this in a larger overall context of the world waking up to a lot of crap. And, there's something that's been going on for a long time, ever since the French and American revolutions, that, we've been overcoming tyranny, and we are, getting rid of royalty and aristocracy and all that kind of stuff, and it's a slow transition. But to me, this issue of Scientology is part of that whole deal. That it is part of, it's like a little microcosm of the awakening of mankind out of a certain paradigm of power structures. So it's one of these things that it might not be the most important power structure to take down in the world. There are far more evil things, but I have always been interested in these kind of things, in dictatorships, in cults, and all that stuff. though most of you are not old enough to remember, but in the stalkers, they're really boring. They need to come up with some new lines. So there we go, Tom. All right. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Constantine, who messaged, still persecuting Scientology. I had to remark on that one. This is the victim complex of Scientologists. They say that they're so powerful and they're in charge of shit and they're running shit and they're able and all this stuff. But then they're like, if you stand here not even talking to a Scientologist, just standing on the street like a lunatic talking into a camera, they're like, you're persecuting Scientologists. And, okay, not old enough, sorry. Not old enough to remember when there were all these cults in the 70s, and they would go to the airport and they would hound people. And, you know, I remember the Hare Krishnas, they all had shaved heads, but then it was around the bicentennial, 1976. And they would wear these George Washington wigs and stuff. And so, hey, polka's back, yeehaw. And so what happened was that they actually made these circles on the floor in the airport because I guess for religious reasons they couldn't keep the cults out of the airport. But they said, well, you can only proselytize from inside of this, 6 foot in diameter circle on the ground. And so you'd go through the airport kind of weaving in and out so you were out of the arm reach length from these circles, and it was all different cults. It was like Moonies and Hare Krishnas and Scientologists and all these different cults all over the airport. And you don't remember that? Well, it might have been more of a California thing. It was definitely at LAX. I can't say I know like every airport that it was at, but I remember being a kid and going through these. Yeah, they give you a flower and then they try to. And I remember I was like 11, and so they gave me the flower. They were like, it was the Hare Krishnas. They wanted to sell me a. Whatever, Bhagavad Gita or whatever. And then I was like, oh, can you make change? Like, they were going to sell it to me for like $2, but I only had a 20. And a 20 was a really huge deal when I was that age. I don't even know how I had a 20. But anyway, then they, then it's like the guy was trying to keep the 20. And I'm like, no, you keep the book and I'll keep the 20. Like, you just lost a sale, dude. And I got adamant up in his face. But not the Glasgow airport. No, they wouldn't take that shit. I remember a friend of mine in London, he was talking about how crazy the Scots are. And he said these Scottish guys were coming up the escalator in the tube station in London. And there's like a ticket taker that takes your ticket when you get off of the subway. And they didn't have any, it was a whole soccer team, football team for you guys. And they didn't have tickets. They just got on the train for free. And when the person pushed it, they just picked up the whole booth and threw it down the escalator. And those escalators are very, very deep in London. So that must have hurt. But anyway, yes. The Scots, don't mess with them. They will mess with you back. And I can imagine like having a bunch of cult members shoulder to shoulder in an airport in Scotland. Yeah, that probably wouldn't last 5 minutes, I can imagine. That's where our toughest people came from here. The Scots-Irish, man, those are the Tennessee, Kentucky, people that invented bluegrass, I believe. Anyway, so, taking down power structures is not just about coming at them with power. It's about exposing their bullshit. That's how you take down a power structure. You show what they are. And it's not attractive. Yeah, every religion's been cultish. Every religion to some degree is cultish. But they don't all have a CIA. They don't all have a spy agency. They don't all practice fair game and disconnection and love bombing and all those things that are typical to a cult. And maybe they did before. Like, Hasidic Jews are definitely far more cultish than Reform Jews, for example. I remember when I talked about D. Green, I talked about when I was a kid, and I was like, what's this thing about wearing kilts? And my mom told me, and I was little. She said, you might consider that a skirt, but don't tell them that because they'll kick your ass. Action. Well, one thing about Scientology as a religion, okay, you think about all the other religions and certain things that hold religions together. What do people do in religions? Well, one thing, they pray, or they meditate, or they sing songs, they sing hymns, or... Right, there are certain things. They pray, they meditate, they sing songs, they go to church. They get mad at you for enjoying sex, definitely. They shame you, all that stuff. But in terms of religious practice, what do Scientologists do? They get interrogated on a lie detector machine, and a bad lie detector machine. A very rudimentary lie detector machine. That's all they do. They have little circle jerks or whatever. But otherwise, it's one-on-one with a lie detector machine and getting interrogated and, having a bunch of suspicion and a lot of stuff of like, are you connected to a suppressive person? And it's just a lot of being stuck in a loop. It's a heads I win, tails you lose situation. And if they didn't, let's see. If they didn't, just had to send empty to his room, but I'm sure he has 20 other accounts going simultaneously, so who gives a shit? Aaron's on. Yeah, where's Aaron? Where's he hanging out? But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, they don't really do anything very religious. And when they started out, they weren't calling themselves a religion. They were calling themselves, the troll's in his closet now for a while. Begging for a personality test. Yeah, that's a good one. So they started out as a science, the modern science of mental health. Meanwhile, there's plenty of people with mental health issues out here in Hollywood, and they don't really help any of them. And because they also have a thing, yeah, they're the modern science of mental health, but then they say they are here for the able, right? So what is mental health for? Is mental health only for the able? For helping the able? I don't think so. Do they donate to anything? Yeah, guess what they donate to? The police. That's who they donate to. They donate, exactly, Tim, they donate to the LAPD Children's whatever Christmas bullshit fund. And then they get pictures taken. And you know, when one of the Danny Masterson-esque abuse women went to report Danny's crimes to the police, she walks in the police station and she sees a picture of one of the top cops with one of the top Scientologists right there in the police station. So she didn't really feel that safe. I believe she made the report that day anyway. Nice to get some support. Thanks, Master Bull Baderson. Yeah, it's yeah, I just spent 2 hours over at Big Clue yesterday holding that place down when nobody else was there, but you know, shining some light on nefarious activities. But one thing I wonder if you guys know about, it's called regging. Regging is what Scientologists call selling, right? That they're going to reg you. So if you go to any Scientology event, they will have registrars there that will have things to sell you. One thing that they'll sell you is just donate money to the IAS. And yeah, so regging is something that most Scientologists really dread, because that's when they hit you up for money beyond just the money you're paying for your courses. So, you know, they pressure you in various ways to donate, because that's the fun money that little Davey gets. And so,
Subscribe and hit the bell notification.
thank you for the update. Anybody on here who would like to like and subscribe, you'll be my best friend if you do. Thank you very much. That would be so nice of you. Trying to build up those numbers. But yeah, what they do is they just hit you up, and they are, yes, the International Association of Scientologists, exactly. And so they have these events, and then what they do, yes, you do, Polkaroo, they have these dumbass events that, you know, they make it a real priority. Everybody, thank you, D Green. They make it a real priority. Like, you gotta come to this event. No, we're having this major event. It's so amazing, whatever. And then what happens is, no, you don't need to hit the buttons again. If you've already hit them, it's great. But, you know, share them with 10,000 of your friends. Angel got transferred. Angel's over at Big Blue, riding his bicycle around in circles. So one thing about, you can imagine that? I mean, since you, oh, Polkaroo, you're imagining about Polkaroo. I get it, yeah. Yeah, he got moved elsewhere. I saw him the other day. He's on my my thing from my live stream from Big Blue that was like 4 days ago. Thanks so much, Daniel. Yeah, when they get attention, you know, they move them out of here. They don't want any stars, you know, because it just keeps going. And but anyway, one thing, so when they reg you, the thing you have to understand about that whole process is that you can't just blow them off in Scientology. Like, anything you do against what they're trying to push you into could get you labeled as a, first of all, PTS, a potential trouble source. Hi, Ontario. Hi, Ernie. Welcome. I bet you're freezing up there. This is what we call cold here, that, you know, people have to wear one extra layer. But so the thing is, like, some people think, okay, so if I go to one of these events and they're trying to reg me for this money, and I just say, no, I'm not interested, and I blow them off and I walk away. Well, that's not really going to work. Your mom's going to jail. I remember that one. That was really funny. I loved that interaction. No, I didn't smoke out today. I don't smoke out before any of this. Got to stay clear. Got to stay clear-minded for this. Smoke out afterwards. Then no problem afterwards. This is California. We do have standards. Oh yeah, yeah. Going clear. Very recommended. So anyway, you can't just blow off the registrar because you don't feel like paying. You can't give them attitude and be like, not today or whatever. You have to kind of weasel out of it and then have a story and not today, and you know, and no matter what you say, they got a lie. Yeah, 56 and freezing. It's probably around 56 here too. It's probably something like that. It might even be higher, but you know, with a little bit of rain, that's yeah, they'll come to your house at like late at night, early in the morning. And again, you can't just blow them off. You can't just tell them, get the hell out of here. What are you doing? I mean, I've heard of times when a Scientology event was coming to town and people in Scientology would go and stay in a hotel just not to be regged by those Scientology registrars, because that's what they would do. And they would not go to the event, and they would stay away from their house because they would be tracked. And the thing is, if you say no, not to, if you blow them off, you could be kicked out of Scientology. And if you get kicked out of Scientology, then you lose all your Scientology friends, all your Scientology business contacts, and all of that. So people don't want that to happen to them, of course. So anyway, that's why you can't just, once you're in, you know, they just keep extracting and extracting and extracting money, time, energy from you. So you don't really have anything left over for anything else in life. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to be signing off now. Maybe coming back on later after I recharge a little bit. But thank you guys for joining. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so, because we're building something here. And I am so grateful when I see these numbers on here. And yeah, gracias to you too. And thanks, and tack så mycket, and merci beaucoup, and danke schön, and all the rest. Thank you, bye.